Good evening, I'm Shane Jones, leading the Emancipation Day edition of the Evening News at 7. Many Barbadians marked Emancipation Day today by taking to the streets for a march, paying tribute to the country's freedom fighters. Kishmar Sinjus took to the activities at the Buses statue and filed this report.
Barbadians from all walks of life, including cabinet ministers, turned out in their numbers for one of the biggest Emancipation Day walks. Earlier, the sounds of drums filled the air around the Buses statue. Hundreds congregated there to pay their respects to our freedom fighters and to celebrate emancipation from slavery almost 200 years ago. There was a tribute of libations, followed by the customary laying of wreaths. Minister of the Environment, Trevor Prescott, sees Emancipation Day as an historic date in the history of the Western Hemisphere. He called on Barbadians to use today to reflect on who they are and make a difference by taking the struggle of freedom forward.
Freedom is not fixed. You have to constantly fight for freedom and to advance freedom. And that is what emancipation is all about. Not just taking metal shackles off your ankles or your wrists, but it is a freedom from an enslaved mind, a deculturization of a people, an effort to restore yourself to a point where you can enjoy a civilization that reflects that human dignity that is responsible for the development of any type of human being in the world.
Director of the Commission for Pan-African Affairs, Dr. Derek Murray, says the Commission is playing its part in creating greater awareness among young Barbadians through its Mabalosi program.
You will see the Mabalosi wearing their flags of honor. We have one of our founders, just so that you recognize the hard work that they're doing in the schools to build awareness with our children. And they are our ambassadors. Mabalosi means ambassadors. So we ask that you give them their support, not just now, but throughout the year. And we give thanks to the Pan-Africanists who've made this morning possible and ask that we continue this tradition and strengthen it from year to year.
The ambassadors of Cuba and Venezuela also paid their respects. The march ended at the Garfield Sobers Complex in Wildy. Kishmar Sinjus, Cbc News.
As Barbadians joined with others around the world to celebrate emancipation, Culture Minister John King says efforts are underway to strengthen cultural and economic ties with African countries that will benefit small business people and the wider populace. The minister made the comments as he delivered the feature address during a ceremony at the Garfield Sobers Gymnasium that followed this morning's walk. A number of artists performed at the event, including Edwin Yearwood, TC, and Commander. Minister King says the impact and significance of emancipation cannot be overemphasized. He adds that his ministry will be giving urgent priority to the lessons of freedom and self-determination learnt from sports like cricket and from icons like national hero, the Right Excellent Sir Garfield Sobers.
In practice, we will promote them through our exchanges with Africa, with the aim of promoting successful commercial ventures, both large and small, and in trade in goods and services. Plans are already underway to promote and to sell Africa our goods, our music, our films, our art, our IT skills, our expertise in education and tourism, just to name a few.
Noting that the Walk and March for Freedom is an important part of reflecting on how far we've come, the minister added that emancipation has also closed the door on a very dark period of our history.
I am confident that once we make the overarching theme of the next 7 years, when the UN Decade for the People of African Descent ends, one of doing business with Africa, we would have at the same time embarked on a significant but still untapped strategy that confronts the well-known negative and debilitating legacies of enslavement and colonization. This strategy is now the key focus of my ministry and the Commission for Pan-African Affairs.
The Barbados Road Safety Association wants to see drivers who are involved in accidents undergoing some form of educational training. The suggestion has been put forward by the association's president, Charmaine Rowland-Boyne.
We leave that out of the equation, so that is why these accidents keep happening. Don't care how good you try to fix the roads, how good you take out the potholes, and how smooth you try to make the roads. If you have a driver going out there and he's not educated, he's going to go on that road and he's going to speed and he's going to kill himself or someone else. So we need to get to the root cause, get to the source of it. People need to be educated, starting from when you're going for your license. You know, that is one area where the compulsory or the mandatory education can be.
The Road Safety Association, meanwhile, continues to push the message of road safety to the nation's children. Representatives were on hand at the We Care summer camp in Belleville to spread the messages and share literature of the do's and don'ts on the roads.
These children start from ages 5 right up to 14 or 15. And this is where we need to start our road safety messages. This is where we need to start educating our persons.
The much-anticipated Rise Soca Kingdom show featuring headliner Machel Montano attracted thousands of Barbadians to the historic Kensington Oval last night. And if the sentiments of the crowd were anything to go by, the show, which also featured local stars Red Plastic Bag, Peter Ram, Nikita, Hypersounds, Mikey and Low Rick, has certainly generated additional momentum heading into the last lap of the 2018 Crop Over Festival. Speaking during an interview at the end of the show, Machel Montano talked about the significance of the Soca Kingdom concept, explaining it is about continuity in the art form and truly embracing both the old and the new.
You know, the princes and the princesses, those who coming up, we have to give them that opportunity to be side by side with us so they will remember, yo, I performed with Super Blue. I performed with Machel Montano because I remember performing with Sparrow and Kitchener in Madison Square Garden when I was 9. And that had an impact on me. It made me feel that, you know, there's a bridge between generations that could exist, even though we have new things like Dennery and Bashment, Soca, and the young people expressing themselves. We could still work hand in hand. There's no way to criticize the old or criticize the new. It's about being in the middle, the tradition on the left, the technology on the right, but the truth always in the center is the present, is the gift.
Grenada experienced heavy showers and thunderstorms today, which resulted in extensive flooding across the island. The National Disaster Management Agency says the island was affected by a tropical wave which was interacting with the Intertropical Convergence Zone. The agency says it received reports of landslides, land slippage, flooded homes and roadways throughout the island. Citizens have been advised to stay indoors until a proper assessment is done. There was a national shutdown around midday, and both the private and public sector sending home workers early. The bad weather is expected to continue into tomorrow.